This is Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Telecom Reseller. And today I have with me Rob McDougall, who's the CEO of UpstreamWorks. Rob, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, Doug. Thanks for having me.
So first of all, what is UpstreamWorks software?
Well, UpstreamWorks is a company that focuses on the agent desktop. And we provide a flexible, omni-channel customer engagement platform that we designed to improve the agent and customer experience on voice channels, on digital channels across the enterprise. We look to enable organizations to increase agent efficiency, increase customer satisfaction, and overall improve business outcomes. We've been doing this for almost 20 years now, and we've always supported this flexible, innovative customer service solutions that really works across any industry worldwide.
So there's a lot of discussion today across industries and across geographies regarding the strategic importance of improving customer care and customer experience. Why is customer experience top of mind for so many senior executives today?
Well, I think customer experience is quickly becoming the last real differentiator for businesses. You know, unless you're in the happy position of being a monopoly or you're literally too big to fail, you're going to need to worry about competition. And with brand loyalty, you know, today being as fickle as it is, what provides stickiness for consumers is being treated well. So I think, you know, customer expectations are changing, and there's a great opportunity for contact centers to do a bunch of things right. They can create powerful connections with customers that drive long-term value. They can look to stay modern and relevant with people, and then deliver real positive business outcomes for their companies, right? And I think people are getting the message. Data does a benchmarking report every year, and in I think 2019, the most recent one, they found that something like 9 out of 10 companies see customer experience as a very strong competitive differentiator. They contribute to trust and loyalty. They contribute to brand identity and commercial performance. And all of that is being attributed back to them improving customer experience. So the issue, though, is even though they see customer experience as a strategic imperative, many companies are challenged to provide a good experience that's repeatable and is consistent and continuous across time. Companies, you know, they have a driving need to deliver this real business value and provide services and solutions that meet the needs and the expectations of customers across all those channels. Is very hard to do.
So what do organizations need to consider as they are developing their customer engagement strategies? And specifically, what is required to be successful?
Well, you need to create repeatable and consistent customer experiences, right? There's a definite need for some holistic strategy that spans the entire organization, but I don't think that's an actionable statement. It's a bit motherhood. What's needed is a top-down approach and a bottom-up approach that ensures that everyone is paddling the canoe in the same direction. Studies show that companies who invest in customer experience are more profitable. Their stock does better. Put another way, the brands that are succeeding are the ones that are committed to offering this great customer experience. And I mean, not just in the contact center, but across the entire company, right? Think sales, marketing, accounts payable, accounts receivable, logistics. People have to get out of the mindset that customer interactions start and end in the contact center. But you still need to understand that the contact center really still has a disproportionately large impact on them. And I think the thread that runs through all of this really is data, right? Contact center can be an amazing source of data for the entire company, and that can help you direct how operations can improve from ideation all the way through to shipping of the final product. And then, you know, ultimately this pays off across all aspects of the company. So think of customers, because you get better customer loyalty, you get better satisfaction and retention. Think of agents, They have increased employee efficiency, better training, satisfaction, retention with your agents. And think of operations. You've got better operational efficiency, easier management, and think about the overall business. There's going to be better outcomes that are driving revenue and profits, reducing costs, and reducing risk.
So there's been an ongoing and dramatic shift with customers towards digital communications. And with that shift, naturally, they expect organizations to also transform digitally. Why are so many organizations challenged in this transition? It seems really hard for some people.
Well, they don't know how to predict the impact, right? I mean, I mentioned in an earlier podcast, I think we did about, the concept of buying a phone system at the turn of the century, right? Mm-hmm. How would you figure out that you need it? And experts I've talked to around this now basically say that for these new channels, you pretty much have to throw at the ROI book, and it's a leap of faith. And that is really hard for a lot of businesses, right? Because, companies see the need to transform, but it's seen as disruptive and it's costly and there's no hard return. But that doesn't have to be the case. Investing in digital business transformation, leveraging all the assets with flexibility to scale and grow with integrations to your existing and future systems, using a single agent desktop that reduces the learning curve for faster time to productivity doesn't have to be risky. If adding these new digital channels was easy and they could do it at their own pace, that would change the game, right? So the value of a digital unified messaging system, it isn't in chat or email or WhatsApp. It's in the productivity gains that you get on any of those digital channels, the ability to add those digital channels as required, and merge all of your management processes with all of your voice processes as well.
So practically speaking, how does an organization get started?
Well, there's the baseline things that are important, but I think we all know, like clearly defining your customer experience goals, strategy metrics. You need to gain alignment from your stakeholders and lines of business across the organization, establish strategic and tactical roadmap, and then ensure you identify metrics that are consistent to measure success, right? That gives you initial guidance, and that's that motherhood kind of statement, right? Mm-hmm. But then you need to put your money where your mouth is, and you got to provide your front line with the right productivity tools to be consistent across all of the channels, digital, voice, video, anything you're dealing with, to provide visibility into that entire customer journey with the ability to take action, to make sure that all the agents have the information that they need and easy access to the information to resolve customer issues. And then number 3 is then start measuring things. Once you start to measure customer interactions accurately and apples to apples across channels, then you can use that information to help streamline operations and processes through reporting and data analytics, right? We have a large pharma customer who reduced their call volumes by something like 12 or 13% by really just understanding the customer journey. And then they modified 3 internal processes and eliminated the problems, and that got them that saving, right? So the fourth thing is knocking down the data and information silos that you have internally, leveraging new investments, but also leveraging existing investments, right? You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and you need to minimize cost and risk and then maximize the results. And then hopefully, as part of this roadmap we talked about, you've got a phased approach that has some future goals, and then you make sure you're implementing a solution that is flexible and allows you to do something today, but to expand and scale and grow with the business.
So what are the key strategic advantages to using UpstreamWorks solutions for customer experience transformation?
Well, at UpstreamWorks, we're passionate about our belief that by improving the agent experience, we can improve the customer experience. That's how we are good for the world. We make the agent's life a little bit better. That makes the customer's life just a little bit better, and that's our goodness for the world. We use a single agent desktop, which is called UpstreamWorks for Finesse, and that has been designed to support existing and future channels, including voice, video, digital. And then we made sure that it's easy to use and consistent for the agents across channels. Make the right thing to do the easy thing to do for the agent. And then using an API-driven product model, then you've got this ability for flexibility. You can easily add seats, channels, applications, services, integrations into third-party business apps, channel providers, or other contact center technology providers, things like call recording or workforce management. And then lastly, through all of this, we're collecting really this data gold that customers are providing every day when they contact you, and use that to drive agent reporting, journey reporting, analytics, or just to give the agent the edge that, hey, this guy called about the same thing 2 days ago, right? So net is that a digital transformation, I don't think has to be a rip and replace of everything. When you consider an interaction desktop like UpstreamWorks for Finesse, that allows you to do all the new stuff, but leverage the stuff you've got and improve that customer experience.
So how do some of the CRM tools that are available play into this? Because I think it's such a big issue. People don't necessarily want to do a rip and replace like you were just talking about. And they want to see if they can continue to derive investment from previous installations and knockovers and so on.
Well, in CRM, CRM's been around now for 30 years. I think Siebel started off, and the message of, we're going to be that single pane of glass that people live in has been around for the entire time. But the amount of work, to get CRM working really effectively, you do need to get a boil the ocean kind of project, right? You have to pull all the information from all of the systems into one place, and then that CRM becomes a tool, but also a portal to all this other data. And that is really, really hard to do. Our focus really is say, hey, CRM is a great tool for tracking your customers, but it's never going to take the place of your AS400 or your healthcare vertical market application. So let's use those, let's leverage those tools that you've already paid for. Your agents know how to use them, they do the job. In some cases, AS400s, people don't even know what the heck they do. They've forgotten, they've been around so long. But allow you to leverage all of that infrastructure that you've paid for, that everybody knows how it works, but also leverage all the new capabilities that are brought to the table by CRM. And we actually sit between those things in like this third space that allows you to deal with interactions. And then we, instead of having to sort of put this sort of big data lake together of all of the things you need for CRM, what we're doing is acting more of an anchor. So for this interaction, I need this CRM record and this business billing record or something like that. So you can get the information you need without the huge integration project.
Well, I think what you're talking about is really huge, because it sounds like it's not as disruptive to the company. They're getting some value in return on previous investments, and yet they're getting some traction on moving forward. And to that point, how do your customers build a business case for digital transformation? You hear a lot about it, but how do you make an actual case for it? Are there measurable, defined impacts that organizations can expect to see as a result of implementing your solutions?
Well, I mean, today, more than ever, organizations have an opportunity to leverage the contact center and the data to gain insights to help them in many, unexpected and impactful ways, right? You don't know what you don't know. Things like fraud prevention, right? Identifying people who are not validating themselves repeatedly, so it's potential fraud, right? That reduces risk and losses, or predictive care, or improving first contact resolution by understanding areas where there's bad processes, or increasing revenues because you've got personalized and timely offers, and then on top of all of that, there's time to market, right? When you want to put a solution in like this, if you've got a big boil the ocean project going on, it's a 2-3 year implementation cycle. I've seen this, right? 2 years is what the manufacturers tell you is going to take you, and they're often late. So, hey, what if you can get something up and running in 2 or 3 months, right? So there's a lot of value in doing that. Working with one of our financial services customers, this engagement approach we had basically allowed, to take the upstream or sort of finesse business impact discovery and assessment. We went through kind of a consultative exercise with them, and we used, their numbers, and we throw it into this. It's a pretty complex spreadsheet. I'm an engineer, so I made a spreadsheet that's really complicated, but it comes out with some good numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And I hate talking about ROI because I think ROI is bogus, but what I do like looking at is what are the potential impacts you could have on the organization, right? What are the dollar impacts on productivity, or, how can I impact customer effort and things like that? And you can look at things like, how would I impact fraud? We've seen fraud improve by 13%. Transfer around an organization are a huge problem, and they're very expensive. You're effectively, you're doubling the customer effort because you've effectively doubled the call time. You put 2 agents on where you only needed 1. We've reduced them by 35%. And all of these kinds of things, you increase FCR, that drives customer satisfaction, and that reduces churn. What is the relationship to customer sat and churn? I don't know. And that's one of the beauties of the spreadsheet. It lets, the organization say, here is the number that we think it's going to affect. And the numbers come up pretty large to the bottom line.
So, for a lot of our readers, the responsibilities sometimes exceed their authority as IT managers, IT directors. And it sounds to me like you're saying here there's a way to implement digital transformation without being so high on the balance sheet, so to speak.
Well, I'll give you an example of one deal we did in the UK where there was no contact center budget. But there was a huge CRM budget. I think they allocated, it was about 5% of the CRM budget got allocated to the contact center, and that covered the cost of our system, installed and operational, and it got them going very, very quickly, and it made the project successful because there was a whole bunch of stuff they didn't have to do on the back end as a result.
So there you go. It's possible with what you're proposing to do it on not necessarily a smaller scale, but an easier scale.
Yeah, definitely. It's a low risk decision, I guess, is the easiest way to look at it, right? When you're investing a large sum of money and you're not seeing a return on that in, for 2 or 3 or 4 years, that's a very risky decision. So if you can invest a small fraction of that and get maybe not the perfect returns, but much quicker returns that are driving, better agent experience, better customer experience, consistency, across the board. And you can see the results of that in a few months.
So what's the best way for an organization to engage with Upstream Works and to learn more about what you can do for them?
Probably start with a personalized product walkthrough with one of our solution architects. We can tailor the experience to your specific channels, integrations, the business outcomes that are important to you. You can contact us and take advantage of our business impact assessment tool. It's complimentary. It's not something we're going to give to you to use because it's pretty complex, but it's a great way to see firsthand how Upstream Works can make a customer experience transformation painless and advantageous to the business.
Well, thank you, Rob, for joining us today and sharing your insights on transforming and optimizing the customer experience through integrations. How can we learn more?
If you'd like to learn more about Upstream and how we can help you, be sure to visit us at www.upstreamworks.com, and you can see our solutions in action. There's demos, or get in touch with us. We're happy to talk.
Well, we will look forward to that, and we will look forward to learning more about your company soon. And I look forward to the next podcast.
Thanks very much, Doug.